Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and I'm filming my very first Flosstube. This is a channel dedicated to cross stitch, my love of cross stitch, my newfound passion for cross stitch, and I'm excited to kind of be able to show my work and the pieces that I am working on to those who I know are also passionate about cross stitch. I know that there are a lot of beautiful pieces on Flosstube, and there are a lot of wonderful stitchers, and so I'm excited to become part of the community and kind of get involved and get to know people through our shared love of needlework. So a little bit about myself. I am a nurse practitioner. I learned to cross stitch in 2018, New Year's Eve to New Year's Day actually. My aunt, my mom's sister, taught me. You can maybe hear my dogs. I have two Westies, they're my babies, and they just got a bath, so they're in the other room being corralled by my husband, and they're very, very, very wound up because they're soaking wet. But so I learned to cross stitch in 2017, 2018, and what kind of inspired me to want to learn is at my aunt's house, she has a dedicated room. It's a circular kind of octagonal space. That's what houses her piano. And so right in the middle is her beautiful grand piano, and hanging over that is the chandelier, but all around the room on like all of the octagonal walls are huge, beautifully framed lavender and lace and mirabilia pieces. So she has like Celtic Celtic Noel. She has not Lady Justice, but Lady of the Flag by Mirabilia. She has all of these absolutely stunning pieces. And I was like, what is this? I need to learn how to do this. I want to put this in my own home. And so she taught me that weekend the basics of cross stitch. Unfortunately, I didn't continue much during the course of the next 3 years because I was in grad school. And after finishing grad school, my husband and I decided to move from Savannah, Georgia to New Hampshire. And so I thought it would be the perfect time to pick up cross stitching again, because I was going from a state with no winter to a state with winter, and we moved right before winter. So I was like, I need something where I can actually do an indoor hobby. And so I started cross stitching it's basically exactly a year ago now. So it actually, now that I think about it, it's a little crazy the amount of stuff that I have amassed in a single year. It might be a little alarming, maybe not to those who are on this the deep dark world of Flosstube, but I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wow, I have a lot of stuff and I've accumulated that really rapidly. But so I started cross stitching exactly 1 year ago. And I thought I would start not with my very first piece. That's the little ornament my aunt taught me with. It's somewhere in Christmas stuff. As you can see, we kind of have partially moved in. We're looking for a house, so we haven't really moved in. We have stuff here in Savannah in storage. It's all over the place. So I don't know where that little ornament is right now. But hopefully maybe this Christmas I can pull it out and show everyone. But the very first piece I have is a Mill Hill Beads kit, and it is called the Spooky Gate. Ooh. And it is one of their buttons and beads kit. I think this one just came out in 2021, and as you can see, it's stitched on the perforated paper. It's stitched 2/1 with a kit provided floss, which I believe is a DMC or DMC equivalent. But my favorite part, I don't know if you can see, are these purple beads. I think they're so cool. I think they add just the right amount of color. And to be honest, Halloween is my absolute favorite time of the year. My husband and I got married at the end of October because of how much I love Halloween. And so, of course, first piece has to be Halloween. But I think adding the purple and then like the creeping backstitched green vines down here is perfect to kind of balance out the anticipated colors of the oranges and the yellows and the blacks and the browns of Halloween. And oh my gosh, can you see that back stitch? Look at that. That took me forever. So, fun fact, I can't count. I don't know why, but I can't. So this was a good piece to start with because it really forced me to learn not only counting and backstitch, but also how to attach beads and buttons, and I love it. And I do have the Mill Hill, they sell the frame, it's a 6x6 frame. I don't have the little back pieces to keep it in place though, so I need to go to Michael's and get some so that I can display this year. And that's what it looks like in the frame. I think it's super cute. And I want to put it on my desk at work and kind of change them out every year or every month or every season. I haven't decided yet. So there is that. The next piece I have, these are two fully finished objects. They're my biggest I guess one of them is my biggest fully finished object. The other one's a small piece. But they were stitched for my adopted mother. She was a very, very close family friend. I've known her since I was a child, and she's basically like my mother. And then my biological mother. And so both of their birthdays are in June. And with Mother's Day, I decided to do a kind of combo framing cross-stitch piece. Because, oh my goodness, you're not a real adult until you have to try and price point framing at a professional store. I was like, wow, that's expensive. And so, fun fact, I'll be watching Elizabeth Ann's tutorials on pinning and framing myself in the future. But this one is called the Tired Trio. It is by Plum Street Samplers. It's for my adopted mother. Her mother passed about 2 years ago, and she was lovingly given the nickname of Sloth. Or was referred to as a sloth, because as she neared the end of her life, she began to move very slowly. And so I thought this was a good piece in memorializing her. I'm sorry, there is reflection. This is not museum glass, because as I said, framing is expensive. But it is on a 32 count. I believe it's called Natural Linen, or Natural Linen by Zweigart. It's 2/2 with a called for floss, which is I think it's either Weeks Dye Works or Classic Color Works. It's overdyed. And then this sloth is supposed to be overdyed, but I just used the called for DMC. I like actually the solid look of him. And then the little faces, I don't know if you can see, are 1/1 on 32 count. And so I love this piece. I think it's so adorable. I love this little guy just hanging upside down. Just like, hey, what's up? And so this is for her, and it's the Tired Trio by Plum Street Samplers, which is one of my favorite designers. Actually, I love them all. Mirabilia is my all-time favorite designer. I have a stack. Here, let me show you a literal stack of her patterns. So maybe one of these days I can do a pattern parade, because I was on the hunt for Mirabilia this whole year, and I got some good ones. The next piece is for my mother's birthday. It's bigger. It is by Cottage Garden Samplings. I don't remember what it's called. It's like Forever and Ever or Love Forever. I don't know. But it is part of their Songbird Garden series. It is their first release, which is representative of the month of December. So these are cardinals and actual Christmas roses is what the two components of it are. And it is heavy. Oh, sorry. And so this is stitched with the called for Weeks Dye Work 2/2 on 32 count. Picture this plus storm. Oh my goodness, look at how pretty those, this is also reflective. Look how pretty those roses are. So my favorite part of this to stitch was actually the house, because I love the pink with the kind of green door and windows, and I just love this piece. It's big. You can see my entire like mess of a table. Look at that. Sorry, vomit and make you seasick. But that is Cottage Garden Samplings. And so now comes the fun part of learning how to mail them across the country. Bubble wrap will be my friend. Next thing I thought I'd show you is, so as I mentioned, deep dive into Flosstube. I watch a lot of different channels at this point. I have a lot of fun watching Flosstube and stitching and crocheting. Most recently, I got into Kitty Whips and Fiber and Floss Amy, and then got very, very, very excited about the fact that there is a Mirabilia themed retreat coming up. Put my name on the list as soon as I could to get emails and information. But I also love XStitchMD, Handwork Maniac. Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch has been one of the ones I've watched most recently. I basically binged watched her from the very beginning. And she routinely mentions a seasonal pillow bowl. And so I was like, eek, I need to do that because that's a cute idea. And so my husband loves antiques. I joke that my husband maybe is himself an antique, but no, he loves antiques. And so I would love to get my hands on, we have a couple, but get my hands on a hand-turned bowl and fill it with seasonal pillows. And so this one is one that Elizabeth Ann actually did, and she was able, she's so cool. She can quilt and she can do all sorts of things with her sewing machine, and I do not know how to sew. My husband's a quilter. He sews. He actually tailors clothes too, so perhaps I can get him to teach me how to make this into a pillow. This is wrinkly, so I apologize, but it is Lizzie and Kate smalls. They're summer smalls, and it was stitched on an excess piece of the 32 count Storm that came off of the cardinal piece, and it's stitched with the called for floss, which I think is Weeks Dye Works over dyed, and it came, I don't know if you can see this cute little button. I think it's so cute. There's like 4 little patterns. I should probably show you the patterns, but they are buried, way buried amidst the other patterns back there. So I'll pull them out at some point and show them to you. But there are 4 different patterns on the pattern like card, and it came with couple little beads. It came with a little metal bee for one of them, and then this little button for this pattern. My favorite part of this though are these tiny little sheep. I love that they look like they're like just like looking at you when they're on the hill. They're so cute. And so I need to find some cute fabric. I was thinking of doing like a green and yellow, like a green chenille and a bright yellow type of fabric to make it into a pillow for summer. So yeah, I think that would be fun. And maybe I have all the seasons for the Lizzie and Kate ones. Maybe next time I can show you a different one. Maybe, we'll see. Depends on how many times I do this in a year. I'm thinking maybe once monthly, that's the hope. So those are my little finishes. As I mentioned, I'd like to watch Handwork Maniac as well. And she noted in her last piece that, sorry, I'm bringing the pattern up right now actually, that she had a case of startitis. And I was like, I'm not the only one. And so she bought the Jan Lin kits of the montage, the seasonal montages, but with the original art by Janet Stever. So these are charted by Pain Free Crafts as a full coverage version, and then as well as Jan Lin's charts, or excuse me, their kits. And they're a little different. Colors are a little different. Background floss is a little different. Fabric is a little different. And she hand dyed her own fabric, which was super beautiful. But I decided I also needed to stitch these and do so in the same fashion where she starts it during the season in which it's representative and then works on it during that season until it's done. So the first one I got my hands on was the Summer Montage. This is the full coverage version by Pain Free Crafts. And I think it's stunning. It makes me want to go to the beach with this crab down here. I love that there's corn in it. I mean, I guess you do. I always associate corn on the cob up with summer. And so I think it's clever to be thinking of corn as part of summer, which I do. I think so. And so this I did on, here's my little start on it. And is that right? Yeah. So it is on 28 count, just plain white Monaco. It's a cheap fabric. It was like $5 from Michael's. And so with the called for DMC, I have started my full coverage pieces previously I've done in diagonals, but Handwork Maniac had mentioned that the Stitching Mommy does this method called the typewriter method, and I kind of started doing the same kind of method moving forward, kind of. And I think I actually like that better. And so I have transitioned a couple of my full coverage pieces that I have to the typewriter method, and we'll see how it goes. So instead of doing the parking method with all these extra strings hanging. So that is my progress on that. And then come autumn, the autumnal equinox, I see if I'll start the next one. And so 2 more pieces to show. One of them is, so I've learned that I haven't decided if I like to just stitch what I want to stitch. I feel in some ways that eliminates my chances of finishing, but at the same time it's very enjoyable, and I have no problem with people who just start and stitch big projects, start more and enjoy what they do. But I'm trying to come up with the best kind of planning for me in order to finish my projects, because I do want them on my wall, for me personally. I know my sister is all about stitching whatever she wants to stitch because it gives her enjoyment whether or not she finishes the project or not. And so she has, you might see some of her work. She's on Instagram, I believe Stitching My Life Away is what her name is. And she does a lot of large projects. And so kudos to her. I'm not sure that, I don't know if I could do that. So we'll see. I do like to start projects, and I feel a case of startitis because I have like 10 more projects kitted at this point. So, but anyway, I've decided I think I like to stitch seasonally. So I'm trying to stitch some summery pieces, some kind of seasonal pieces during the season itself. And so the summer one is one of the ones that I've been kind of focusing on. And then there is another one, it's Americana, and it's by Twin Peak Primitives, and it is called One Nation Under God. And I love their patterns. Actually, in fact, I was on Instagram just before I started filming, and I saw that they're releasing a Pride and Prejudice pattern in August, and I was like, I need it now. Why isn't it out? I literally just posted on Instagram, and I'm like, I love Pride and Prejudice. I love all Jane Austen. So I am super excited. They have a couple that are already kind of like Regency themed, Victorian themed, and I have all of those already too, so I want to start them. But this is my summary one, One Nation Under God, and this is where I am on it. Not very far. I started this a couple weeks ago, and it is very big. You can see my head peekaboo peeking out from the, oh, look how big this fabric is. So it is on 32 count vintage mocha Zweigart with the called for colors 2/2. That's so pretty. It looks better in camera, I'm not gonna lie. But the I like 2/2 on 32 count, but I haven't tried 40 or 36 count yet. So I have a couple of pieces that are pending that I bought a smaller count fabric for to try, like 1/1 or 1/2, and we'll see what I like. But I do like the coverage that you get on a 32 count with 2 fabric threads, or floss threads. So that is One Nation Under God. Then last but not least, I decided, since I do like big projects, that I needed maybe some smaller projects that I could finish in a more reasonable time. And so on Sundays, I do Sunday smalls, and I'm bringing up the pattern for my next one as well. And so I grew up in Japan, and I have a immense fondness for cutesy things, for cute little, I don't know, it's kawaii desu. So cutesy things. And so I love frosted pumpkin stitchery. I do. I think they're lovely. So I decided I was going to work on some other pieces for my Sunday small pieces. And the one I'm working on now is called the Nutcracker Parade. And this is the pattern. I think it's so cute. She's on a frosted parade float with cupcakes and candy around her. How adorable is that? Oh. And so, yeah, I can't get over how cute this is. And so, not very far, but this is stitched on, here it is. You can kind of see, this is the Mouse King. I love his little angry eyebrows. I can't get over it. And then this is the Sugar Plum Fairy and her little candy float. This is 28 count dwarf cashel linen by Picture This Plus, and it's opalescent. Oh, there goes my needle minder connecting to my, it's connecting to my computer, and I lost my video there for a moment. My cute little Santa needle minder. Or that's not Santa, that's a snowman, my cute little snowman needle minder. And so this is opalescent, I think you can kind of tell. And it is stitched with the called for colors, except the snowflakes I converted to, see how sparkly they are? You kind of can tell. Converted to making a mess. Treasure braid. See if that's focusing. It's hard to tell with this bright light. So I converted it to a purpley kind of pinky treasure braid. And then the colors for, I don't know if you can tell, this is supposed to be just white, but I used ThreadX floss that it looks like cotton candy to me. So it goes from like pale blue to yellow to green to pink and to purple. And it's very pastel, and so I converted those. I originally was trying to do this on like a white Aida, and you couldn't see anything, and so that was my kind of hope of solving that problem, but then I just ended up changing. But yeah, so that is kind of me, my starts, my current projects, and hopefully next time I can show you some more stuff and be working and getting some progress on these things. And I'm considering doing like a project parade. I'm not sure. We'll see. Not project parade, excuse me, pattern parade, because I have a lot of patterns. Or maybe a kitted pattern parade, because I have a lot of lovely kitted pieces. I went crazy over the last month, and I have a lot of silk now and a lot of, we'll see. But it was lovely to be able to share everything with you, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. Have a great day.